What's up, mama? So today is all about the biggest lesson that I needed to learn and relearn and learn over again about getting on track with food and fitness before it finally freaking sunk in. So that if this is happening to you, you know how to shortcut the process and save yourself time and energy, okay? My name is Amanda Fisher of AmandaFisherCoaching.com. I help moms just like you. Seriously, just like you, create badass self-confidence and body and food and movement habits through simple but powerful strategies that you can actually do and actually live with and fit inside of your real life and keep up with and stay on track with, right? So that you can feel like a badass in your body, rock your happy place in your body, feel calmly confident, stronger and more flexible and more agile and more freaking present even with your family in the least amount of time as possible. So we're going to dive in today on the biggest lesson that I needed to learn like 800 times about food and fitness, about staying on track with food and fitness before it finally ever sunk in, because I want to save you some time and energy. Cool? And before we actually dive in today, I want to give you a friendly reminder that the Get Back on Track Challenge kicks off on Sunday inside of the Kick-Ass Moms Workout Club, right? This is where you refocus your energy after summer on you again, right? Simplify and rock your workouts and meal planning for your family and for yourself. And also roll into fall feeling stronger, calmly confident, and energized AF, ready to take on a new school year and also just a brand new season, feeling like you're back, feeling good after kind of getting all vacation-y summer projects, all the social stuff over summer, and just kind of refocusing back on yourself, okay? Friendly reminder, you can get into this challenge for the next 3 days on a 10-day all-access pass, right? So you can find that information at AmandaFisherCoaching.com/club, and it will give you all of the details that you need to know to see if this challenge is right for you. Cool? So whenever I start these live streams, sometimes I want to say I'm tempted to say, I'm tempted to embrace Sophia from the Golden Girls, right? Like picture it, Sicily, 1922, literally picture younger Amanda 10 years ago, right? Who was getting on and off track constantly in her food and fitness and feeling like she could never stick with things. I know 7 to 10 years ago, who knows, time escapes me, but whatever, right? I loved the way workouts made me feel back in the day, but I was always having this trouble sticking with them, staying with them for more than a week or a month or whatever. And thank God I actually went through that, because I had to relearn this lesson that I was clearly I needed to learn to get out of that cycle of getting on and off track all the time, and just to feel like, okay, food and fitness were things that are just normal and present in my life, right? So here's what used to happen for me. I would be on a cycle of workouts for a little while, right? And feeling good about how I was eating and blah, 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 blah. Life was good, right? I was kicking butt in the gym. I was eating healthy. I was doing all the things. I was super disciplined, right? And then life would happen. Schedules got busier. This is before kids, so I'm not even sure how schedules got busier, but somehow they did, right? Life would happen. Schedules would get busier, and there would be work stuff. There would be life stuff. There would be house stuff and whatever. And I would fall off track with workouts. Maybe I'd miss a day or two, or maybe I'd miss a week, right? And then it was way more often than not, we were going out to eat, out with friends, doing the drinking beer thing and whatever. And it was kind of this constant thing. And I would get to this point where it was I need to get back on track. I don't mind doing these things. I don't, whatever. But it was also I don't feel good about not doing food and fitness either, right? There needed to be some sort of balance. And it would always end in this result of me having what I call an FTS, an F this shit moment of no, that's it. That's enough. I need to get back on track, right? Ever had an FTS moment? I have those quite frequently in my life. There are those moments where you're okay, girl, figure out your stuff, course correct what you need to, and just get yourself back moving, right? But how I used to FTS, how I used to course correct after an FTS was the problem. Here's what I used to do. I would plan the entire workout week, right? I would make a perfect little planner or a schedule of my workouts for the week, right? Every day I was going to work out to get out of this FTS feeling, this F this shit feeling, right? I was going to work out every day of the week. And then I was going to I meal prepped and meal planned everything, right? Like, this is what I'm going to have for lunch. This is what I'm going to have for supper. This is going to be, this is what's going to happen. And like, this is what's on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? Like, I had a plan for the whole entire week, right? I was super, super organized. Like, this sucker was like a beautiful plan. You could look at it and it was like, girl, this girl's got her shit together. She's really going to do things, right? And I'd have a plan of attack for every day. And it was like discipline, like no pop, no sugar, all the water, all the healthy meals, workout every day of the week, no excuses, never miss a Monday, blah, 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 blah. Because I was at this place, where it was like, I was not doing, I had fallen off track with all of the things. And so I was like, oh, I need to do all the things right now instantly, right? So Monday would roll around, first day of the plan, right? All the plans always start on Monday, right? Monday would roll around, perfect. Nailed the workouts, got them done, got all the healthy eating done, got my meals done, got supper ready. Like, oh, it was a perfect day. I could nail a Monday like nobody's business, right? Tuesday would roll around. I'm good. Same thing, right? This is good. 2 days in, feeling pretty confident. Like, I got this shit. I can do it, right? I can do this. Wednesday would roll around. Friends want to meet after work for beers and go out for supper or, whatever. We got to go do something socially, right? Okay, that's cool. I can do this. I can fit my workout in. Ooh, I'm going to have a couple more, I'm going to have like 2 drinks, maybe 3. Okay, now I want to have fried food, whatever. Thursday would roll around. Got to get back on the horse. Yesterday, kind of didn't do it all. Thursday would roll around. Okay, I can do it, but I'm kind of tired because we stayed out later last night, right? Not feeling it today. Okay, but I'll do part of it. Like, I'll eat my healthy lunch or something. Friday, social time. It's been a week. It's time to go blow off some steam, right? Beers, out to eat, supper, fried food. I don't got time to work out. We're going right from work to, something. No time to work out today. Saturday, F this. Why start now? Why start now at this point in the week? Because I can just start over again on Monday, right? And I fell in and out of that cycle for years. Seriously, years. And sometimes that cycle would last a week. Sometimes that cycle would I could be on for like a month, but no matter what, I was always like on or off or on or off. And it was a definite cycle, right? Of, oh my God, I'm over it. I'm not doing anything. Commit to doing everything, right? And then falling back off again. Okay. So you want to hear the lesson that I needed to learn over and over and over and over and over again? It was this. Every time I had that FTS moment, you're allowed to have an FTS moment, by the way. Like, those are fine. Sometimes you just need to have an FTS moment where you just need to call yourself under the carpet a little bit and be like, hey, you're not doing the things you say you want to do. Let's figure out how to do them, right? Let's figure out how to do them more frequently than what you're doing if you're doing them right now. That's totally fine. You're totally allowed to have an FTS moment about any area of your life, right? But here's what was happening for me. I was over correcting when I had my FTS moment because I was feeling guilty and like, I'm not doing anything. I feel like a slob, right? I was feeling guilty about what I wasn't doing, right? From being quote unquote off track. So what I mean by that is I was sick of feeling like I wasn't showing up for my workouts. I was sick of feeling like I wasn't showing up for, like some of the healthy stuff that I wanted to eat and like saying, like eating how I actually knew I wanted to eat. And I was kind of like throwing all those things that I wanted out the window. And then when I got sick of it, I was like, F it. I'm going to do all the things. No pop, no sugar, discipline, willpower, motivation, never miss a Monday. I'm going to work out every day of the week. I'm going to do this thing finally once and for all, and I'm going to do it perfectly, right? And you're going to laugh when I tell you this lesson, because it's going to sound like the most ridiculous thing that you have ever heard in your entire life. Like, this is going to sound counterproductive to what you actually want to do, which is work out and eat healthy consistently on the regular, right? Here's what it is. You go slow. I needed to learn this lesson. You go slow to go fast. What? What does that even mean? Here's what it means. Go slow to go fast. You go slow on one thing at a time for an entire week. right? And you give your brain only one thing to focus on for an entire week. And then the next week, you focus on something else, right? And when you do this, I'm going to show you how I do this, right? When you do this, you feel so much more like there's not this like, I have to stick to this perfectly. It has to go according to plan. All the meals, all the prepping, all the discipline, all the no sugar, all the workouts, 6 days in a row, 7 days in a row, or none of it counts, right? That just like doesn't exist when you go slow to go fast. And you have this, like when you focus on one thing, it's like your brain's like, that's it? That's all you want me to do? Don't you have to do more? No, you just have to do this one thing. Okay, I can do that. I feel calm about that. I feel like I can totally do that. Like that's totally doable for me. Okay, but what you just did was you gave your brain room, right? You gave your brain room to think, to feel about that thing, to get it done, and then just to go on living life, not worrying about anything else. And if you're doing enough to count, right? And that's it. You go slow to go fast. Let's apply this to old Amanda, right? I was trying to, back in the day when I was ready to get on track, I was like, all the workouts every day and all the food stuff and all the healthy eating stuff. All my meals got to be healthy. Lettuce, carrot, celery, broccoli, chicken breast, lean protein. Oh my God, I need it all. No sugar, no pop, all the water, right? Be disciplined, be hardcore, stick with it. Never miss a Monday, right? Perfect plan. Don't screw it up. Pressure. Right? I would go slow, or I do now, go slow to go fast by doing this. For 1 week, I focus on nothing but putting a plan into, like, by mapping out where my movement goes every day of the week. That's it. Cool. And getting that movement done. And that doesn't mean like working out every day of the week. That just means like having a plan to move every day of the week, right? Yes, there's some workouts in there. The only thing I focus on for 1 week is mapping where my movement goes. And then doing that. That's it. Done. Second week. Let's meal plan. What are we eating for supper this week, right? Put a plan into place on what we're having for supper and then eat the supper. That's it. Even if that plan includes going out for supper. That's it. That's seriously it, right? Third week, something else. Maybe it's water. Maybe it's something else, right? Fourth week, again. Do you see what's happening here, right? I'm giving my mind every week only one thing to focus on. Only one thing to focus on. And I'm allowing my brain to feel like, I can do that. I feel calm. I got this, right? I got this, like I got this, like I got this. And then next week, still feeling good about that one thing that I was doing last week, but I'm going to focus on this one thing, right? And I'm going to rock the shit out of it, and I feel good about it. Cool? And then the third week, I kind of have two things that are pretty familiar to me that I'm doing for my health and for my feel goods and for my family and for myself. They're kind of starting to become second nature for me. I think I'm going to add one more simple thing to focus on, right? Do you see what I'm doing here? I'm focusing on just one thing. I'm going slow to go fast, right? And if I look back over the course of 2 weeks, if I look back over the course of 3 weeks, if I look back over the course of 4 weeks, I'm like, it really, like, I'm seriously, like, hindsight's 2020, right? Like, I'm looking back over my shoulder, like, I didn't feel like I was doing all of this crazy stuff for my health, for my fitness, for my well-being, for my, how I feel in my body, how I feel in my life, how I take care of myself. I don't feel like I was doing like this massive thing, right? I didn't feel like I really went gangbusters and really followed this perfect plan and like really executed and really stayed disciplined and really stayed motivated or whatever. I took it one day at a time because the only thing I had to do was focus on one day at a time and focus on 1 week at a time, one thing for the entire week. And that was it. It was like, now I look back over my shoulder and I'm like, 4 weeks went by. Are you serious? Like, I am working out consistently again? Wow, how the hell did that happen? Right? It feels like I'm not even having to stick to it. It's just kind of happening, right? We're eating some pretty kick-ass meals in our house again. We feel like we are having more dinners at the table than what we have been, and they feel good and they feel balanced and they feel healthy, and everybody's feeling like, yay, we're at the supper table again, just like eating and like catching up with each other at the end of the day? Wait, I had like 3 Diet Cokes last month. I drank a shit ton of water last month because that's what I focus on in week 3, right? Wow, look at that. Like I did 3 really big things for my health and for my well-being. And I'm not even thinking about or having to think about doing them. They're just sort of happening because, right? Because I went slow to go fast, right? I went slow to go fast. I focused on only one thing at a time for a week. And I let myself get really comfortable with that thing, really good at that thing, really kind of maximize on that thing, just that one thing. Because my brain was like, dude, you only have to do this one thing. Cool, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that, right? Before I moved to the next week and focus on something else. I went slow to go fast. Make sense? Sounds like it's super counterproductive. You're like, oh God, is that enough to count? Is that really enough to get me like stronger again in my body? Is that really enough to get me toned in my body? Is that really enough to get me like healthy and feeling good and confident and energized and like calm again? Yeah, because ask yourself what the alternative is. Are you going to sit there and map out another perfect plan to begin next week in a brand new month of August, right? And you're like, that's it. 7 days a week of workouts, right? That's it. I'm never eating sugar next week. That's it. I quit pop cold turkey. That's it. I only drink water now. That's it. I never miss a Monday of workouts. That's it. Right? When you're doing that, you're creating this massive ton of pressure on yourself to perform and do everything perfectly, right? Meanwhile, your real life is still happening around you. You're still going to have a kid that needs to go school shopping. You're still going to have a kid who can't sleep at night. And so therefore you're not going to sleep at night. So therefore the next morning you might be more likely to miss a workout because you got less sleep. So you hit the snooze button, right? Your perfect plan goes out the window in a short order in real life, right? Because we tried to go too fast too soon. When you go too fast, you go really, really slow. And you ride that wave of, oh my God, I was on track for like 3 days, but then like nobody in my house slept and we all got a cold and so we're off track for 10 or 20 or 30 again, right? But if you go slow to go fast, you only got to focus on one thing. Meanwhile, real life is still happening around you, right? Your kids are still not sleeping sometimes, right? You still got to go back to school shopping. There's still a birthday party or something to plan for, right? There's still real life happening all around you, but you have this bandwidth, right? Because you only have to think about one thing. You only have to think about one thing for the week. And then you're like, boom, done. Okay, cool. I was still doing it. Yeah. That one Wednesday, it was a little bit shorter. I exercised a little bit shorter and I did have to move it to the afternoon, right? Because on Tuesday night, for whatever reason, all my kids decided to wake up in the middle of the night and they wouldn't go back to bed. And so therefore I was up in the middle of the night and I didn't get enough sleep. So yes, I did hit the snooze button. But on Wednesday afternoon, I was like, you know what? I could go for like a 30-minute walk and that would feel good. And I still did my movement for the day. So you still stuck with it, right? So you stayed on track, even though really there's technically no track, right? You went slow so that you could go fast. So that a month from now, you're looking back going, how did I accomplish all of that stuff? It didn't even feel like I was trying, right? When you used to go, well, I made it 3 days and then I gave up because it got too difficult and I didn't have time and like, I couldn't stick with it. So I couldn't do enough to count and whatever, right? You respected yourself. You did one thing at a time. You let your brain only focus on one thing at a time and let that thing sink in and feel good. And you actually accomplished it. And then the next week you're like, I can do this. What's one more thing I can focus on? Cool. Let's do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to focus on making lunches for myself to bring to work. Cool. And then you rock that out because that was your thing to focus on, right? You go slow to go fast so that you're looking over your shoulder and you're like, how did I get this far? How do I feel this energized in my body again? How am I suddenly consistent again in my workouts? More consistent than I have been, right? How are we making suppers again? And most of the time we're eating at the table and not on the run. And it feels really, really doable. And it doesn't feel like I have to do this crazy plan and stick to it and perfectly coordinate my schedule with everything together and never get off track, right? No, it feels like you're living. When you go slow to go fast, you're like hey, I'm doing the one thing for myself today. That felt really freaking good. And now I'm going to go be a mom. Now I'm going to go kick ass at work. Now I'm going to go kick ass at my marriage. Now I'm going to go do something fun for myself because I don't have to worry about following this perfectly executed plan. I have this mental energy available to like do more things. And I feel really, really good and calm and relaxed about it, right? Go slow to go fast. And you're going to watch yourself in 30 days, look over your shoulder and go, oh my God, how did I get all this stuff accomplished in a month? In 60 days, you're like, who am I, right? Who am I? Like, what's happening? I'm sticking with these things and I'm not thinking about it. In 90, you're like, I just am the mom who works out now and eats healthy, right? And I feel pretty good. And yeah, sometimes life happens and it doesn't happen and my plan doesn't happen. But also, I just know that I only have to come back to focusing on one thing. I don't have to do this like, oh my God, I have to go on this journey and no pop and no sugar. Now I got to do keto and now I got to like work out 7 days a week and I have to do the 75 hard challenge, blah, 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 and really get dramatic about it and really stick to it and really be perfect at it, right? There's no pressure anymore. There's no pressure anymore to do things perfectly because we go slow to go fast. And I know how counterproductive that sounds. I would not have listened to me back when I was a 25-year-old. I would have been like, that girl, she's spewing some bullshit. Go slow to go fast. I don't have time to go slow. I need to go fast and balls to the walls right out of the gate. Meanwhile, that 25-year-old and 28-year-old, and 29-year-old Amanda was doing things perfectly for 3 days and then falling off the wagon completely for 10 or 30, right? And consistently riding that on and off and on and off and on and off cycle. No matter if it was a month or 3 days at a time, right? I was always on or off cycling. I can't tell you the last time that I've been off track. The track really itself does not exist, right? The track does not exist. And the track doesn't, of course there's time to course correct, right? Of course there's time, like I still have FTS moments where I'm like, you kind of sandbagged a little bit, girl, last week, right? I have those like moments where I'm like, could you have done that one a little bit better? Of course, we all have those moments, right? We all have FTS moments. Or you go through a particularly stressful or busy or crazy month or summer when you're in a season of like home projects and vacations and traveling softball leagues and whatever, right? You're gonna have moments where things slide. That's perfectly normal and natural. That's called being in a season of life, right? But there's also power in knowing how to course correct yourself and pull yourself back to where you want to be, right? Maybe that is on a little bit more on track. And what that means is you now have the tools to take it one thing at a time, 1 week at a time, one thing at a time, 1 day at a time for 1 week, right? Before we add more shit to do, before we decide to take on something else. And when you do that, you get yourself back into this motivation. You get yourself back into this good groove, not because you've done everything perfectly, not because your life finally went according to your meticulous plan in your planner that was color-coded. No, because you finally gave yourself the freedom to only have to focus on one thing. Let that thing be enough. And then you just go live your life and let that thing go to work for you like a good little soldier and bring you back results and like energy and positivity and strength and fitness and health, right? And you let that one thing be enough. Go slow, mama, to go fast. You don't have to do all of the things. I know when you feel like I have to do all the things or it doesn't count. It's not enough. You're in the cycle of being on and off track. And you need to get off that cycle. And maybe you can take a piece of what I had to learn about 800 times in a row before it finally sunk in. Go slow to go fast. One thing for a week. One thing at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 week at a time. Reassess, then what happens the following week, right? Go slow to go fast. What questions do you guys have? Anything? Where have you been in the place where you're like, oh yeah, I've been trying to do all the things. I had to get 10,000 steps on my Fitbit, go for 17 walks, do 8 HIIT workouts last week, drink 9 glasses of water a day, 2 protein shakes, no sugar, no pop. Oh my God, how am I going to stick to all this? Meanwhile, like my kids are still being kids and my husband's still being a husband and I'm still being me, right? And I'm trying to keep up with it all and I still have to go to work and do all of this stuff, and food and fitness cannot be my job because I do need to go to one of those, right? Where have you been doing that to yourself? I guarantee you need to lay off that shit if you want to get to a place where you feel like you're riding this more even keel. Yeah, you're still going to have times where you have to have an FTS moment, an F this shit moment, and pull back the reins a little bit. You're still going to have that, right? But it's not this big event. It's simply a course correction. You're like, I've been focusing on too much stuff. That's cool. Let me pull back the reins and focus on one thing next week. Done and done, right? So friendly reminder, the Get Back on Track Challenge begins on Sunday inside of the Kick-Ass Moms Workout Club, right? This is where you refocus your energy on you again after the summer, right? Raise your hand if you've been going hard this summer. Like, holy bucket, so have we, right? I'm going to help you simplify and rock your workouts consistently. Go slow to go fast, and your meal planning so that you are feeling and rolling into fall calmly confident, stronger, energized, and like, I don't think the track ends. I think I just keep going with this whole thing, right? There's not this on and off again button that it feels like sometimes, right? And just a reminder, you can get into the Get Back on Track Challenge for your first 10 days for free, a 10-day all access pass. You can get inside that thing through Sunday. Cool? So you can find that information at amandafishercoaching.com/club. Remember, go slow to go fast. You don't have to have all of your ducks in a row. You don't even have to have any of your ducks in a row, right? You can be a hot mess mom and slide into this thing, and I'm going to help you focus on one thing at a time, simplify, execute, get the damn thing done, and in 30 days, after the end of August, you're like, who am I? I'm doing all my stuff again. I feel like me again. I feel like I can do this. I'm ready to rock a new season and rock a new school year with my family and my kids, right? All right, go slow to go fast. You got this. You can do it. Bye-bye.